Well, it is that time of the year again. Another one done. Another one chalked off. Time to hit the calendar store. We're here to have a look at the Handman Review's top 10 figures of 2024. If you've watched these before, you know the deal. It's not based off any particular metric, it's just my vibe. It's what I liked. And that's it in a nutshell. Music! So, number 10. Anyone who's watched the channel knows that I'm a sucker for a really well done partial, and for me, Vector Prime should fit the bill. I would have loved to have put him higher on the list because I do think this is a fantastic partial from Joe Kup. But unfortunately, he is real loosey-goosey. Like, none of his joint tolerances are anything close to what you'd want. He looks beautiful, but he feels bad. Also, I understand why it's the case, but if you're doing a figure that is partnered with a Minicon and you don't chuck in the Minicon, it's a missed opportunity for me. He really needed that Minicon. I also think this little bit here on the legs where Joe Kup's ankle wings, Namor style, were attached, not doing anything with them, a bit lazy. But the finish, the deco, everything else, incredible. List worthy, but could not put him higher. In 9th place, we got this great whopping hunk of plastic. I've always loved the character of Tidal Wave. I loved him in Armada. I know it's not very popular, but I love Energon. I love the way they did him in Energon. So much so that they decide to do that white and lightning and see-through green repaint, I'm probably going to get it. But a few things stop me from being able to put him higher on the list. Firstly, and most notably, and most frustratingly, is his hands are just garbage. It's just a hot mess. It wasn't worth the gimmick of doing it like this. I would have rathered more functional hands and lost some of that gimmickry, because it's just, the payoff isn't there. Also, in this day and age, to have a Titan class figure, can't look down, that's poor form, right? Scorponok could do it, and his whole head came off to become another dude with a head that came off to be another dude. And to hit on that Minicon point again, you can't tell me that there's not enough room in here that they couldn't have popped open that shoulder to still have his little bro live inside. That was such a cool feature of the original. As if there wasn't the budget to do that. Past Titans have come with whole deluxe figures. You can't chuck me a little bro in there, a little core class plain bro? Do better. Coming in at number 8, Origin Wheeljack. That trifecta from that episode 1, now complete. Because I guess we kind of got the Autobots. You know what I'm saying. These are the guys that we saw a real good version of their alt modes. You can lamppost Soundwave. Tetrajet's that smooth, always going to be tricky, but Big White Shoebox should have been done earlier. Who else thought that that's what Siege was going to be? They had Cybertronian modes from the get-go. Why Siege figures weren't alt modes like this is beyond me. But now we have them, so that's good. He's a little chunky, a little clunky. I don't mind that. There's so much well thought out gimmickry, and he does so many of the things that you saw on the show that I can forgive those cankles quite easily. It's Wheeljack. It's alright for him to be, you know, short and stocky. He's the George Costanza of the crew.
George is getting upset!
That backpack's not mucking about. For a Voyager class figure, maybe they could have found a way to trim that up a little bit more, but he comes with extra accessories for like what you'd expect from a Voyager. It's not just one gun, it's guns and little bits and that road so we can do the shield. There's a lot of play power for your buck. And as much as I love this figure, I just couldn't put him any higher because, you know, he's the George Costanza of the crew. Coming in at number 7, this chunky monkey. Transformers 1 Optimus, it's like the, you know, the big Japanesey one, face swapping gimmick, Matrix gimmick, extra guns that I swear I didn't use in the movie, but whatever, they're there and it's fun. To me, this release has the vibe of like, this when you were a kid would have been your one big birthday present or your main Christmas present. He's got like that Buzz Lightyear energy. This is a toy of significance. And whilst he doesn't really scale with anyone else, I don't mind because, you know, stylistically they were so different that I'm happy just to have the coolest version of that character possible. If they did a Megatron in this style as well, just as a pair, that would be fine. Just the two of them sitting on a shelf, love it. The only drawbacks to this guy is those arms don't have a huge amount of tension. And I do feel like, probably just because of the face swap gimmick, his head's a little bit big for his body, but, you know, the play power, shuffling him about, throwing those lanky pins around the place, it's just a lot of fun. Last entry before we hit the top 5. Some people might be surprised to see him placed here, but I don't know. It's a good year. I just didn't feel like I could put him any higher. Magmatron. It's Magmatron. This year's Commander Class release. He's phenomenal. They've done as amazing a job on him as I reckon they possibly could at any kind of mass retail price point. He's always going to be a bit of a mess, but the fact that he exists at all, that's some real deep cut stuff. Coming in at number 5, we got a little Unicron trilogy love going with Cybertron, Starscream. This was one at the time absolutely blew me away. If anyone watched my review of that, it was pretty clear I was having fun and was really into this one.
What are you? Are you me?
I'm bad, Ash. And you're good, Ash. You're goody little two-shoes. You're goody little two-shoes. Little goody two-shoes. Little goody two-shoes. Little two-shoes.
He looks the part. He feels as imposing as his presence was on the show. The sculpt, the detail, the posability. I liked everything about him. Honestly, at the time, I was so sure that he was going to be top 3 for the year, easily. Which says a lot about how good things have been this year, for my taste at least. Now, I know ahead of time that number 4 is going to be somewhat contentious of an entry, but Thundertron.
In the black void of stars so cold, Thundertron's tail is bold. Fearsome crew of misfits brave, across the void their ship does sail. Galaxies quiver, scream of dread. Star raiders paint the cosmos red. Fleets of war they can't deter. Thundertron's voice a thunderous roar. Oh, Star Raiders claim the stars. Thundertron our space star. Oh, Star Raiders none shall stand. Thunder ocean, starlit sand. Captain leads with might. Neon glows his eyes at night. Through the dark of endless space, Thundertron's reign takes its place. Clouds of steel his crew soar, endless thunder craving more.
And not just Thundertron. Leader Class Star Raiders multi-pack offering, because the color scheme, but more importantly the head on this guy, just makes such a big difference. He felt strange and doofy before, in my opinion, and was underwhelming. Now, he has the full gravity that I wanted for the character. You know, before we get into the top 3, we're going to do the honorable mentions. Suspense, baby. Gotta build suspense. To Silverbolt, who I had wholeheartedly planned on reviewing right after I reviewed Cybertron Starscream, but I don't know, I just got busy.
Life, finds a way.
Sometimes that happens. A figure can be really good and you have every intention of reviewing it, but then stuff comes out, other things happen. So I offer his inclusion here by way of an apology for not having given him a purpose video. He deserved it. The second is the Lunar Cruiser Prime crossover thing, Toyota branded. I have a funny feeling this might have ended up higher on the list, but let me know, does anyone else do this? You get something, you have every intention of opening it, but then some time goes by and then all of a sudden it feels like a shame to open it. Like if you can open it up quick enough, that's part of it, you're playing with it. But once it's been a few months in its box, it starts to feel like it's a sealed collectible as opposed to a play with me collectible. So whilst it may have been list worthy, I don't know because I'm not sure if I can bring myself to crack the box. This third entry, the Fractured Friendship box. Much like the Lunar Module Optimus Prime figure, the only reason this hasn't ended up higher on the list is because I got it, ran out of time to open it, and now I'm at that point where I'm like, well, is this now a mint sealed collectible? Can I open it? This one I'm going to open. This one doesn't have the same gravitas and exclusivity that it felt like the, Lunar Module, whatever, Lunar Rover, whatever it is. You know who I'm talking about, you just saw him. So this one I will get into, but because I haven't gotten into it yet, this is a honourable mention based off potential. So for this entry, honestly, I've had a hard time getting a real bead on how the fandom felt about this particular release. I know that across the board, people aren't huge fans of the price point or the quality of the Transformers X G.I. Joe line, but if you jumped off that ship, hopped off that train, get to swimming, get to running, because this figure's elite. No hollow, hard plastic, great playability, looks like Kup, feels like Kup, good pairing of characters. It's just so toyetic. I love it. I loved it so much that I made a toy commercial for it, if you haven't seen that video.
New from Hasbro, Transformers X G.I. Joe. When you add Cobra and the Decepticons, that equals bad news for the Autobots.
Oh no, Bumblebee's been captured.
Not for long, when Triple T Kup rolls in with Sergeant Slaughter, capable of carrying 2 Joes and transforming in 18 simple steps.
Oh, look out, Kup, it's Ravage.
They're no match for Sergeant Slaughter. Not on my watch, Zartan. You and your little dog, too.
Oh, look out.
Don't forget about me. In my day, we respected our elders.
Our way superior.
You've done it, you've saved Bumblebee. Kup and Slaughter has saved the day again. Go, Joe!
Sergeant Slaughter and the Triple T Kup available at all good toy outlets. Other figures and vehicles sold separately.
Should he be higher? Honestly, for me, the top 2 were so easy this year. This is going to sound so bratty, but the only reason that this figure didn't end up higher is because it was exactly what I've always wanted. It's the pinnacle of what I think you can get for G1 Optimus Prime representation. After all is said and done, you've never walked, you've never run. You're a winner. You've got the moves, you know the street. Break the rules, take the heat, you're nobody's fool. You're at your best when the going gets tough. You've been put to the test, but it's never enough. You've got the touch. You've got the power. So, I got him. I wowed. This is it. This is what I've always wanted. Now I've got it.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
What's left for Optimus now? Well, a huge Star Convoy release, I guess, but this is the G1 Optimus Prime figure for the foreseeable future. He somehow almost makes me feel bad for not liking him more than I do, which I like him a lot. But it's like, this is it. This is Optimus, G1 Optimus, done now. This is it. Done. So I'll concede to being a little bit surprised by this year's number 1 as well. When I was like laying out all the contenders for the top 10, he was one of the first that hit the desk. And then as I kept putting other figures around him, he kept just sliding further and further to the top until I had no choice but to admit that this was my favourite figure of the year. See, unlike the number 2 place Commander Optimus, which gave me everything I'd always wanted, and so then that was kind of like a full stop on that, on the G1 Optimus kind of toy journey a little bit. It felt like the end of an era. This is it. This number 1 entry, he gave me everything I didn't know I wanted and exceeded expectations that I didn't even know I had. I mean, God, look at him. Every shape he throws is perfect. The level of surface detailing, paneling, paintwork, everything about him. Tiny rivets, great tampos, little inset colors, different finishes to different matte blacks. He looks premium. He feels premium. His alt modes are hot garbage. But this is so good and so poseable and well considered that every time you pick it up and throw shapes with him, you fall in love all over again and just set your mind ablaze with the possibilities. What if we got this Megatron on screen? Could that have saved the franchise? Maybe. As it is, Hasbro's out. He's one where you can just feel the effort that went into him. Whoever designed like the figure and the actual look of this concept, whoever did these concepts loved Transformers and was doing their best to get that weird, beatly, hollow bay aesthetic back to something more G1 recognizable with what we think of as Megatron, and it's exceptional. 2024 are done. So that's the year done. We've still got the tail end of Legacy United to come out. We've gotten some good looks at what's to come 2025 with the Power of the Primes. Is that what they're calling it? That doesn't sound right. We know that next year is going to be like Primetime Central getting the 13. What we've seen so far looks really good. I like where they're headed. I'm still not 100% sure how I feel about the Menasor approach to combiners being adopted by every combiner now. I think ultimately I'll end up being in favor of it because it leads to the most poseable, stable combined mode you can, and you're probably going to display them that way. Time will tell. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a hell of a year for toys. Thank you so much if you've been watching all this year. 2024, that's a winner, eh? If you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed this, like and subscribe. It goes a long way to encouraging me to keep doing this stuff. To everyone who's already liked, subscribed, watched, way to go, you little legends. Thanks so much. Be sure, as always, to hit me up in the comments below so we can get nerdy with it. You know who you are, right? Let's get nerdy with it. Do you like my choices? Do you wish to challenge them? What were yours? Hit me up. I want to know. So until 2025, catch.